woman doesn't lose you when she leaves. She loses you when your silence no longer waits at the door. That's the paradox most men miss. As long as she believes she owns your attention, your validation, your emotions, she feels untouchable. She can play the game of power without fear. But when that control slips, when she realizes your silence isn't temporary, when she sees you're not waiting like before, her mask begins to crack. On the outside, she may laugh, post, or pretend to glow with freedom. But beneath the surface is panic. Because women thrive on certainty. The certainty that you'll chase. The certainty that you'll bend. The certainty that you'll break. And when that certainty is gone, her actions shift in ways her words will never admit. Brother, this is where you need to sharpen your eyes. Because once you recognize the signs of what really happens when she knows she's lost you, you'll never be fooled by the mask again. Start this journey now. Like this video to anchor your strength. Subscribe to Stoic Station for daily reminders of clarity and control. And in the comments, share your perspective. Have you ever seen a woman's treatment shift the moment she realized you were no longer chasing? Because what comes next is the first mask she wears when she knows she's lost you. 1. Anger disguised as indifference. The first mask she wears when she knows she's lost you isn't sadness, and it isn't regret. It's a cold indifference sharpened by anger. She'll walk with her chin higher, act as if you're invisible, and say things like, "I don't care what he does," or "He was never that important anyway." On the surface, it almost convinces you that she has moved on. But brother, here's the truth. If someone truly doesn't care, they don't need to announce it. Loud indifference is never proof of freedom, it's proof of conflict. This is where so many men get trapped. You look at her coldness and think, maybe she never noticed me. Maybe everything I gave was wasted. That voice grows inside you until you start doubting your own worth. But stop right there. Her indifference isn't strength, it's a shield. She's trying to protect her pride from the emptiness she feels. The harsh tone, the dismissive attitude, the arrogance. It's not about you being worthless. It's about her struggling to hide the sting of loss. Picture this moment. 2 days after the breakup, she uploads a smiling photo at dinner, surrounded by friends with a caption like, "New beginnings." Your chest tightens when you see it, and you wonder if she's already happier without you. But what you don't see is the night that follows. The way she lies awake, scrolling through your profile, watching if you noticed, if you reacted. The truth is simple. That smile is staged for the outside world, but her silence afterward reveals what's happening inside. Her performance of indifference is actually anger that you haven't broken down. Anger that you might be moving forward faster than she ever expected. This is the hidden conflict. She cannot let her pride admit that she lost you, so she hides behind the mask of detachment. Yet the more she tries to project that image, the more it betrays the very opposite. Her struggle, her restlessness, her loss. And this is where Stoicism becomes your armor. Don't take her act as reality. Don't feed into her performance. Understand that when a person insists, "I don't care," it's often because they care too much to admit it. Your answer is not to fight back with words, not to chase with explanations, not to argue your worth. Your answer is silence, grounded, steady, unshaken silence. A silence that doesn't scream or beg, but simply stands. That silence is not emptiness. It is your fortress. And when you remain calm, when you see through the storm without being pulled into it, you prove the deepest truth. Her indifference was never about you. It was always about her pride. And brother, that's only the beginning, because when indifference no longer works, she won't stop there. She'll search for new ways to test if she still matters to you. And that's where the story takes its next turn. 2. Tests for reaction. When her mask of indifference no longer protects her pride, She often turns to something far more subtle: tests. They don't look like much at first, just small, calculated moves meant to measure if she still has a hold over you. A text out of nowhere after weeks of silence. "Hey, did you still have that jacket of mine?" A story with another man just visible in the frame, posted right when she knows you'll see it. A mutual friend casually dropping, "She was asking about you the other day." None of this is random. These are hooks, carefully cast to see if you'll bite. The pain for you is real. You've spent weeks rebuilding yourself, regaining strength, grounding your emotions. Then suddenly, she stirs the water, and your mind starts to spin. Should I reply? Should I prove I'm fine? Should I show her she doesn't matter? But here lies the trap. No matter how clever your response, the moment you engage, you confirm you're still orbiting her gravity. Your reaction gives her proof that you still feel. Imagine yourself as a still pond. She throws stones to see if you'll ripple. If you do, she knows she still matters. But if you stay calm, the surface reflects nothing back but her own face. And that, brother, unsettles her more than anything. Because silence is not absence, it's power. As her frustration grows, the tests may escalate. She may suddenly act vulnerable, sharing struggles you've never heard before, hoping your protective instinct drags you back in. Or she may spark a meaningless argument, pushing your buttons to break your silence. Why? Because even anger tells her she still exists in your world, but silence tells her she no longer does. That difference terrifies her. Here's where clarity becomes your weapon. These tests aren't signs of reconciliation. They are acts of desperation to regain control. The answer isn't to outsmart her with witty replies. It's to not play the game at all. Recognize the test, smile inwardly, and carry on your mission. The truth is simple. She isn't testing because she's free of you. She's testing because she isn't. And the man who stays calm delivers the greatest lesson. Peace cannot be baited. And brother, when peace cannot be baited, the next mask she wears becomes louder, more dramatic, because her need to prove she's better without you only grows. That's when the show of happiness begins. 3. Fake happiness and competitive energy. When her quiet tests don't pull you back into orbit, the performance usually grows louder. Suddenly her social media lights up. New trips, group dinners, endless selfies with faces you've never seen before. Captions sparkle with words like freedom, new chapter, or never been happier. At first glance, it looks convincing. You scroll, you see her laughing with another man, and a sharp thought pierces you. Was I that easy to replace? That single question can haunt even the strongest man because it touches your core fear that what you gave wasn't enough. But here's the perspective you must hold on to. Genuine happiness doesn't need an audience. It lives in quiet spaces, far from the lens of a camera. The louder someone tries to prove their joy, the more fragile that joy really is. Her need to broadcast her new life isn't evidence that she's replaced you, it's evidence that she hasn't. Because if she had truly moved on, you wouldn't even know about it. This is where conflict grows inside you. You begin to compare your steady, private growth with her public performance. You think you're losing because she seems to be winning. But competition in this form is nothing more than a mask. She doesn't post to celebrate life. She posts to control the story. The narrative she wants is simple. I'm doing better without him. But if it were true, there would be no need to repeat it. The performance is the proof of the opposite. So the solution is not to compete. Don't measure your healing against her highlight reel. Your growth doesn't need applause. It doesn't need likes or captions. It lives in your discipline, your silence, your progress that doesn't demand to be seen. Her need for validation is her weakness. Your refusal to play the game is your strength. And here's the resolution. The moment you stop checking her scoreboard, the game ends. When you no longer care about her show, the stage goes dark. She realizes her performance has no audience, and that emptiness echoes louder than any silence you could ever give. And brother, that's when the act begins to crack, because the mask of happiness can only last so long before guilt and manipulation try to take its place. 4. Guilt and indirect manipulation. When the smiles and staged happiness fail to move you, she often turns to another weapon, guilt. A late-night message appears. After everything we had, you just moved on so fast? Or a friend tells you, she said you've really changed. These words sound like fragments of love, but they're not. They're carefully placed traps designed to pull you back into her frame. Guilt is not an expression of care. It's a strategy of control. And this is where many men stumble. Because guilt is powerful. It makes you question yourself. Was I too cold? Did I abandon her too soon? Did I give up on something I should have fought for? These questions gnaw at your mind, weakening the foundation of the strength you've been building. But here is the truth you must remember. You gave. You showed up. You carried the weight until your hands were bleeding. And if she let go while you were still holding on, that is not your sin. It's her choice. Her guilt trip is never about your integrity. It is about her slipping grip. As the pressure grows, she might bring others into the picture. Family members, mutual friends, or subtle posts on social media meant to echo her narrative. Suddenly, it feels like the world around you is whispering her story, not yours. You feel the urge to defend yourself, to set the record straight, to explain who you really are. But that, brother, is the trap. The moment you defend yourself, you step back into her world, under her frame. And that's exactly where she wants you. The solution lies in clarity. Guilt is not love. Love frees you. Guilt binds you. Love lifts. Guilt suffocates. The man who knows his truth does not argue it. He lives it. He doesn't need to convince anyone, because his actions already speak louder than their accusations. And here is where the resolution comes. Let her guilt and manipulations pass through you like smoke. Smoke cannot choke you unless you stand still and breathe it in. Walk forward, and it disappears into the air. The day you stop reacting to guilt is the day you cut the final thread of control she has over you. And when that thread snaps, she's forced to find another mask, another angle. And that's when nostalgia becomes her weapon. Because if guilt doesn't hold you, maybe memories will. 5. Nostalgia and reminiscing. When guilt no longer reaches you, she often reaches for something sweeter, something that feels less like manipulation and more like tenderness, nostalgia. It arrives in the form of an old photo she suddenly sends, a late-night text whispering, "Remember when we..." or a meme that only the two of you would understand. At first, it tugs at your chest. It feels like maybe she's revisiting the beauty of what you had. But brother, you must see this clearly. Nostalgia at this stage isn't love. It's strategy. The danger is how seductive it feels. Nostalgia softens your memory. It paints over the coldness, the silence, the sharp words that once broke you. Suddenly, you're not remembering the disrespect. You're remembering the laughter in the car on a rainy night, the way she reached for your hand when she was scared, the little rituals that once felt sacred. And in that haze, a question creeps in. Could we find our way back? That's the trap, because she isn't living in those moments to cherish them. She's living there because the present, where she no longer has you, is unbearable. Conflict grows sharper when she sprinkles nostalgia with regret. She may say, "I didn't realize what I had." And those words pierce deep because they echo the very validation you longed for when she pulled away. But timing is everything. Regret spoken after you've detached is not a confession. it's desperation. She isn't realizing your worth for the first time. She's realizing her loss. So here's where your strength must hold. Honor the past, but don't let it chain you. Yes, those moments were real. Yes, they mattered. But they are not tickets back to yesterday. You are no longer the man who lived in those memories. You have evolved, grown, and carried yourself into a future where yesterday cannot contain you. The resolution is simple and freeing. Nostalgia is not an invitation to return. It's proof of how far you've come. The fact that she must lean on the past only shows that the present belongs to you now. And when you truly grasp that, brother, you stop looking backward. You realize the past is a closed chapter, and you are already writing something greater. And that's when her fear deepens, because if nostalgia cannot bring you back, she knows she must resort to jealousy and curiosity to see if someone else has replaced her. 6. Jealousy and curiosity. As your silence holds steady and your detachment begins to harden into something unshakable, jealousy finds its way in. She starts to wonder, almost obsessively, if someone else has taken the place she once occupied so easily. She may ask mutual friends little questions disguised as casual interest. She may scroll through your social media late at night, looking for clues. Sometimes she'll even break the silence herself with a message that feels innocent on the surface. So, are you seeing anyone? Don't mistake this for care. It isn't. It's fear. Fear of being replaced. Fear of being forgotten. And here's where the sting hits you. There's a part of you that wants her to feel jealous, that wants her to see what it feels like to lose something valuable. But there's also another part, a quieter ache, that wonders if she still feels she has some kind of claim over you. That inner conflict is where many men lose their footing, because jealousy cloaked in curiosity can feel validating, but it is not love. It is possession. It's her way of saying, I need to know you're not thriving without me. The conflict grows sharper when she actually sees you doing better. If another woman admires you, if you look calmer, sharper, stronger, her pride burns. Pride cannot tolerate the image of you moving forward without her. And that's when her jealousy takes on sharper edges, a subtle joke with venom in it, a backhanded compliment, a remark designed to undercut your progress. These are not signs of affection, they're signs of a wounded ego. Your solution is discipline. Don't feed her jealousy with reaction. Don't confirm. Don't deny. Don't explain. Let her wonder. Because the power of your absence multiplies when she can no longer place you neatly into a category. The man she once thought she knew now becomes unpredictable, and unpredictability is the soil where obsession grows. And here lies the resolution. Jealousy is never about you. It's about her confronting a brutal truth, that she was never as irreplaceable as she once believed. When you stand steady, when you choose yourself instead of fearing replacement, you teach the harshest lesson of all. You cannot be controlled by the possibility of someone new, because you've already built a life that doesn't need her shadow. And brother, that realization cuts deeper than anything else, because if jealousy can't move you, she's forced to face the quiet regret of truly losing you. 7. Regret and silent longing. This is the stage where the noise fades, the constant posts, the subtle digs, the attempts to provoke. All of it begins to die down. What replaces it is not drama, but silence. She stops testing as often. She no longer floods her profile with pictures meant to prove something. And yet, you feel her shadow lingering. Your stories get viewed almost instantly. Your updates are quietly tracked. Outwardly, she may still insist she's fine, that she's moved on. But inwardly, she is haunted. Here's the challenge, brother. Interpreting her silence without being pulled into it. You may find yourself asking, does she still care? Will she ever admit it? That uncertainty can creep back into your mind, tempting you to break the very discipline you've built. But understand this clearly. Her regret isn't born because you shattered after she left. It's born because you didn't. Her silent longing comes from the realization that the man she dismissed has now become untouchable. Conflict brews inside her because she's caught between two opposing forces: admiration for the strength you've shown, and despair at knowing she no longer has access to it. She won't always put this into words. Instead, you'll see it in her eyes if you cross paths, in the hesitation in her voice, in the way her silence speaks louder than anything she could say. That silence carries the weight of what she lost. And here's your solution: embrace your own evolution. Don't slow down to ease her pain. Don't soften your silence to comfort her ego. Keep walking the path you've chosen, because the moment you break stride, you give her the validation she's searching for, that she still has influence. But when you keep moving forward with calm and composure, you show her that your life no longer bends to her presence. The resolution is powerful. Her regret and her silent longing are not signs of your failure. They are proof of your growth. The man she now watches from a distance is no longer the man she could control or even reach. And that distance, that unreachable version of you, becomes her burden to carry, not yours. And brother, when longing turns into respect wrapped in regret, the final mask begins to fall, leading her to the one place she never thought she'd arrive at: surrender. 8. Final surrender and respect. Every cycle eventually burns itself out. The tests fade, the games collapse, the staged happiness runs dry. What remains is not another performance but quiet. Not quiet because she's healed. Not quiet because she no longer cares. Quiet because she finally knows the door is sealed. Sometimes she'll make one last attempt to reopen it with soft words. Maybe we should meet and clear the air. Or, we had something real, didn't we? But even as she says them, the hollowness hangs in the air. Those words no longer land the way they once did, because the power beneath them has already dissolved. This is where many men get confused. You see her final softness and think, maybe this is my chance. Maybe she truly regrets it now. But brother, you must recognize what this really is. Closure offered after control is gone is not healing, it's strategy. It's not about mending the past. It's about seeing if there's still a crack in your armor, if there's still a way back in. The conflict inside her is resolved not because she found peace, but because she was forced into it. She didn't stop reaching because she let go. She stopped because she knows she can't reach you anymore. And this is where you step into your highest strength. Not revenge, not proving her wrong, not racing her in some imaginary competition. The real solution is peace. Peace so steady that her presence or her absence no longer shifts your center. And here is the resolution. Simple, yet life-changing. The balance of power has shifted forever. She no longer controls the rhythm of your heart. You control yourself. That is Stoicism in practice. The freedom that comes when you no longer let external forces dictate your worth. So remember this truth, brother. The greatest revenge is not jealousy, not showing her you've won, not even outshining her. The greatest revenge is peace. Because peace is the one thing she cannot break, cannot fake, and will never forget about the man she lost. And when she finally looks back, the silence that once unsettled her will transform into respect. Respect for the man who didn't just walk away, but who rose so far above that he could never be touched again. And that's when her story ends, but yours is only beginning. Brother, you've now seen the full cycle. How a woman treats you when she knows she's lost you. From anger disguised as indifference, to subtle tests for reaction, to fake happiness and competitive energy, all the way to guilt, nostalgia, jealousy, regret, and finally surrender. Every stage looks different on the surface, but underneath, it all points to the same truth. The power has shifted. She no longer controls you. You control yourself. And that is where your freedom lives. Not in chasing, not in proving, not in showing her you've won. Your strength is in rising above the storm, in choosing peace when everything around you tries to provoke chaos. That is what makes you unforgettable, not to her, but to yourself. If this message spoke to you, don't let it stop here. Like this video so other men can find it when they need it most. Subscribe to Stoic Station for daily reminders of strength, clarity, and calm. And in the comments, share your thoughts. Which of these stages have you seen most clearly in your own life? And how did you respond? I'll see you in the next video, brother, where we'll go even deeper into the psychology of loss, power, and the quiet strength that no one can take from you.